guys, welcome back to Roller's Return and welcome to my kitchen. As you know, in the last video we built a grind box, and so in order to make that coping slide nicely we're going to need some wax, and we thought why not make a video showing us trying to make some wax ourselves. So here goes.
Okay then guys, so up first we've got some beaded paraffin wax, we've got some beeswax, we've got some bubblegum scent because we want it to be bubblegum scented. We've also got some coloured dyes. We're going to need a little splash of vegetable oil as well. So first things first, we get some water to the boil, and then we put in around a kind of 80-20, maybe 85-15 mix of the paraffin wax and the beeswax into a baked bean can. No baked beans were harmed in the making of this video. So we're going to add in the beeswax there. This is a mixture that seems to be kind of what most people suggest is a good mix of beeswax and paraffin wax. And then we've got the dark purple dye. Now we're not going to put that in until a little bit later on. But that's the first colour that we're going to go with. You can see there we filled the can about 3/4 full, and then we leave that to sit and stew in the boiling water, and it will start to soften up. Now it's important that obviously this takes a little while. It's important that you have something to agitate it or give it a bit of a stir and a bit of a mix to keep the heat going into all the granules where possible, mostly because it just helps it melt quicker. Otherwise it just kind of turns into a solid block first, and then you end up having to melt a solid block rather than the pellets, which is the whole point of the pellets. Then we drop in a couple of bits of the purple dye and 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. Get that all mixed up, and then towards the end, once that's all melted down, we'll add some of this bubblegum scent, quite a liberal splash of that, and you'll see that later on in the video, if there was smell-o-vision, that is a pretty strong scent. So we let that all melt down. And then I was experimenting here, so I actually bought some Lego block molds to try out making little wax Lego blocks. Now these molds turned out to be a lot smaller than they looked in the picture. It's a bit like when you order something off Wish. So yeah, they're quite a lot smaller, but for the test batch, I thought I'd give it a little go and see how they came out. Now, once you fill this mould, we actually filled 2 moulds in the end, just to sort of try and test this out. And then the idea is to leave it at room temperature to cool down for a while first. A lot of people sort of slap it straight in the fridge, but that can actually make it more crumbly and make it more likely to crack, according to what I've read online. I am no expert. Yeah, and obviously the advantage of silicone molds is that it all comes out really easy. So took all these Lego blocks out and was actually pretty happy with how they came out. Kind of look pretty cool. Now obviously you're not going to be able to grind wax up many grind rails with these small Lego blocks, so we'll actually use those later in the full slab that we're going to make. So I went through this process again. You can see here that the paraffin and beeswax combo once again, and this time around I've sort of melted in some of the offcuts from the purple from earlier, added a little bit more purple dye, and gave that a good mix, and then made like a second layer of the purple. And this time round we're going to put that into a large silicone mold. This is the only other silicone mold I've got. Probably need to actually get some sectioned, kind of almost like ice cube tray style trays, which is probably better, because this really was supposed to be kind of 4 portions of the wax. So yeah, I plonked in some stickers as well, which you'll see in the end result, and then we let this set at room temperature. Okay, once that had set and hardened, we went with adding a turquoise layer, which was made in the very same way but using a blue and green dye. I then decided that I'd reuse the Lego blocks from earlier and kind of sink them into the turquoise colour, because I think it looked pretty cool, and I didn't really want to waste them and leave them just lying around. So added those in and then left this to set at room temperature as well. Okay, so once that had set at room temperature, very carefully, or nearly set, I decided to put that in the fridge to really let that harden up, and gave it a little while in there before removing it and taking a look at the finished product. So the layers actually came out really cool, so I decided I would actually bulk this up and make this into a full block of wax that we could actually cut up and use. So I went back and made another layer of the green, which obviously submerged those purple Lego bricks. That might look cool later on once we sort of take this all out. I then added another purple layer once that had cooled, popped that in the fridge and left that overnight to set. Then in the morning, decided to uncover the final product, which actually came out pretty cool. It almost looks edible. It certainly smells edible, that bubblegum wax. The bubblegum scent is crazy, and I'm quite glad with the way that the branding, the stickers actually stuck into the wax as well. It looks pretty cool.
Okay, so after all of that, here is the finished product. So one thing I've learned is that you actually need to have a mold specifically to the size of the wax that you want to create, because this is now one giant brick that I've somehow got to work out how to slice up into some quarters. You'll see there nicely branded with the Rollers Return sticker on, but yeah, trying to keep it on brand with the colors as well. Smells absolutely amazing. We've used bubblegum scent from like a candle scent oil, and yeah, hopefully I can get this sliced and diced into quarters so that we can get it used on the grind box and when we go up the park. I'm pretty happy with how that's come out. I'll let you know how it actually skates when we do the first test of the grind box and the wax, which will be coming soon. Thanks for watching this quick video. Hopefully you enjoyed the recipe. Either make your own, or maybe we'll start selling this stuff. Who knows if it turns out to be pretty good. Yeah, thanks for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe to us if you haven't already. Drop us a comment below if you think the recipe's crap, or if you think you've got any top tips on how to make skate wax. And yeah, make sure that you follow us on Instagram as well, at Rollers Return. Thank you very much.
5 minutes later.